Welcome to Impact News. I'm Carol Angela Davis. Folks, the ultra-conservative from the Deep South, representing Kentucky, born during abject racial discrimination in the South and frankly raised in that system, okay? Mitch McConnell, that's who I'm talking about, now says if the right wing, far right wing even, Supreme Court overturns Roe, guess what, folks? He says he's going to take it further and go for a federal abortion ban. Moron. This is what I'm saying about these white supremacists, these far right people. They're so busy trying to stay away from black and brown people and not mix with them and not have babies with them that they have inbred themselves to the point of just abject stupidity. It is really sad. Why is this 80-year-old in Congress in the first place? Why is he there? He is a dinosaur who is out of step with the country because he can't change his thinking. He cannot accept others, and he's just too insecure to represent America. He does not fit. We have to get rid of these old, tired relics of the past. Vote him out, and all of them out. Mitch McConnell's entire agenda is to go against the will of the American people and establish a powerful, white male, hate-focused agenda, and he will stop at nothing to get this done, okay? As Rhode Island Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, a Democrat from Rhode Island, says, quote, "This is why Mitch McConnell refused to let the Senate consider Judge Merrick Garland. This is why they eliminated the filibuster for Gorsuch. This is why they pressured the FBI to tank the Kavanaugh investigation. This is why they broke the Garland rule to stuff Amy Coney Barrett on the court mid-election. This is why $580 million was spent to capture the court. This is why the Federalist Society was the turnstile for Supreme Court nominees." Folks, if the Federalist Society gets behind any single judge for a position on the Supreme Court, whoever the president is should just automatically say no. Just say no. Because we understand clearly what their agenda is, and of course we also know we have to expand the court. We have absolutely no choice. Many of us don't want to do it or didn't want to do it, but we have no choice. And if you don't vote Mitch McConnell out of Kentucky, you deserve everything you get. I'm Carol Angela Davis. Stay with me. Be right back with your news. God don't like ugly. Oh, we'll tell you about it. Also today, protesting Supreme Court justices finally, then serious water shortages, and they are scary. Plus, why is corporate America using forever chemicals as fertilizer for the food we eat? Stop. Also today, the Republicans are so morally bankrupt, they're about to elect an accused murderer from jail. Ugh. And then finally, much of the Caribbean has had it with the Queen of England and wants out, and more. I am Carol Angela Davis, bringing you your news from all around the neighborhood and, of course, all around the world. We're going to start with the God don't like ugly category. Okay, in that category, the University of North Carolina Chapel Hill's Board of Trustees, that so-called learned group, folks, worked so hard to keep African-American Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Nikole Hannah-Jones out. They wanted to keep her from getting tenure for a job that automatically came with tenure for every other professor who had the job since the 1980s, but all those other professors were white and Nikole Hannah-Jones was black. So why should she get tenure? Okay, that's why she left. Well, vengeance is mine, as the saying goes. Today, the very journalism department that the Board of Trustees tried to keep Hannah-Jones out of in terms of tenure, guess what, folks? Just lost its accreditation due to lack of diversity. Do these people have any brains at all? Listen, I'm telling you, they're so busy trying to stay away from black and brown people that they have inbred themselves to stupidity. That's what we're talking about. They constantly work against themselves. Nikole Hannah-Jones is the editor of the fabulous 1619 Project, and now she is a professor at Howard University, where, frankly, I'd suggest those in North Carolina thinking of going to the University of North Carolina's system, I'd suggest you send your kids to Howard, where they have sense. Okay, let's move on. All right, controversial Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh will not escape scrutiny for his politicized actions at the U.S. Supreme Court while he works to overturn Roe v. Wade. Now, remember, Kavanaugh apparently lied under oath, saying he believed Roe was precedent, okay, and should stand during his confirmation hearing, and then reversed himself once he got on the court. Turns out that's a common practice there, where you lie under oath to become the highest justice of the land. All of them have to go. I don't care. All of them have to go. That is a crime. All right, now his neighbors are taking action, protesting his hypocrisy, holding peaceful candlelight vigils in front of his house. One neighbor says, I am not going to be civil to that man. That protester is a mother of two and a sexual assault survivor. We're not having any of this silliness in this country. We got to get rid of these fools. All right, and are you worried about your water yet? You better get worried, folks. You know, we keep you posted on the state of the climate and the earth on this show every week, and you should know that California's Shasta Lake, that's the largest reservoir in the state. It is the cornerstone of the state's water system. Well, guess what, folks? Shasta Lake's water levels are now less than half of their historical average, people. That causes California to reduce water usage to health and safety needs only. That is serious. And also Lake Oroville there in California provides water to 27 million Californians and 750,000 acres of farmland. Okay, its reservoir levels are so low that agencies relying on the state water project are going to have to receive only 5% of their requested supplies in 2022. Imagine somebody telling you could only use 5% of the water you used last year. You can't even take a shower every day. Oh my goodness. And then we're going to move on. Only in the completely morally bankrupt GOP can a Republican candidate accused of murdering his wife win a primary election from jail. These people are so pathetic. I'm telling you, it's the inbreeding. They're so busy trying to stay away from black and brown that all they marry are each other, and now they've reduced themselves to total stupidity. They'll believe anything. All right, they'll vote for anybody. Andrew Wilhoit is a farmer from Boone County, Indiana. He is waiting trial in the death of his wife, Elizabeth Nikki Wilhoit, okay, who had recently finished chemotherapy for breast cancer. I guess the cancer just wasn't killing her fast enough, okay? Wilhoit reportedly told investigators he hit his wife with a flower pot during an argument, okay? She had reportedly filed for divorce after finding out he had an affair. I know she was so glad to be able to find something to get rid of that fool. Okay, her body was found in a creek near their home. The GOP candidate's trial begins this summer, and if we know the Republicans, they are so morally bankrupt, I wouldn't be surprised if they elected him. They're pathetic. All right, let's go on to the proverbial canary in the coal mine. We're talking billions of birds. They are disappearing, people, because of humanity's impact on Earth. Now, birds are an excellent indicator of planet health because, first of all, they're absolutely everywhere. Everywhere you go, there are birds, and they're very sensitive to ecosystem changes. All right, birds are also vital to our ecosystems. You know that they disperse the seeds, they eat the pest, okay? But now they are also very threatened, especially larger birds that take a longer time to reproduce. Birds are affected by the destruction of wild habitats, the climate crisis, pesticides, and other pollution, including overhunting. Who would kill a bird? Ugh. All right, let's go on. They call them forever chemicals, and now we hear that they may have polluted 20 million acres of U.S. cropland. What moron let that happen? The same brain dead people that we're talking about that are running things that we have to get out. They are PFAS, or per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. They are a class of about 9,000 compounds. Yes, 9,000. All right, used to make products heat, water, or stain resistant. They are called forever chemicals because they never break down. They just sit there and, it's disgusting. These chemicals are linked to cancer, thyroid disruption, liver problems, birth defects, immunosuppression, and more. How did they get on 20 million acres of farmland, though? All right, here it is. Apparently, companies often discharge the chemicals into the nation's sewer system. Doesn't everyone? All right. Through wastewater treatment, they become part of sludge, which the waste management industry is increasingly repackaging as fertilizer. Ugh, we didn't know that. Because the sludge also contains human excrement, which is rich in plant nutrients. EPA records show that 19 billion pounds of sludge has been used as fertilizer since 2016 in 41 states. And what happened in 2016? That moron Trump got in office and did everything he could to destroy us, and it's still destroying us. He must go to jail. All right, that's in 41 states have 19 billion pounds of sludge used as fertilizer. 60% of the nation's sludge is spread on cropland or other fields annually. That has to stop. All right, let's go to the Caribbean, where the anti-colonial protests and calls for slavery reparations are increasing, folks. In Belize, Prince William and Kate had to cancel their trip there. Also, in St. Lucia, protesters paraded signs that read repatriation with reparations and Queen, say sorry. Okay? And even more nations want to split from the monarchy and declare independence, namely Antigua and Barbuda and St. Kitts and Nevis. I'll tell you, it's a crescendo. It's growing to a crescendo. The monarchy, they so busy being mean to Meghan. Okay, we'll see what happens to you now. All right, then U.S. officials in Havana have begun processing visa requests to Cubans on a limited basis. The U.S. Embassy in Cuba will only cater to visa applications under the category known as IR5, or Cubans who are parents of U.S. citizens. Now, those who do not fall in the IR5 category are going to have to visit the U.S. Embassy in Guyana for their visa application. And then finally, what was Cinco de Mayo's role in helping the Confederacy lose the Civil War? Well, on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, on May 5th, 1862, the Mexican army decimated the French in the Battle of Puebla. France's emperor, that was Napoleon III, had wanted to make Mexico a colony of France, but Mexico trounced the French, which prevented the French from supplying the weapons to the Confederacy. Thank you to Mexico. We thank you so much for that, okay? And you should also know that many Mexicans who lived in California voiced their opposition to slavery as early as 1829. And as you know, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, and you know that that was on January 1st, 1863, freeing enslaved Black people. I'm Carol Angela Davis. Those are your stories. Stay with me. I'll be back with your slave word missing, Crypto Convos, Ask Dr. K, and the International Report. Stay with me. Your slave word of the week, folks, helping you level up that vocab and simply become a better writer and a better speaker. The word this week is sagacious. That's right. S-A-G-A-C-I-O-U-S. Sagacious. It is an adjective. That means it modifies or describes that noun. Its origin is 1607 from the Latin. The definition is having or showing understanding and the ability to make good judgments. Shrewd. Okay? Let's use it in a sentence. President Biden is sagacious, and it shows in the way the economy is growing. Sentence number 2. All right. They were sagacious enough to avoid any outright confrontation. Not something you can say about any Republican, particularly the leader of the Republicans. What's his name? Trump. Okay, sagacious. That's your slave word of the week. It means having or showing understanding and the ability to make good judgments. Shrewd. Level up that vocab and use it all week in your convos.
I'm Otha Smith, CEO and founder of Tetragram, a mobile app for cannabis consumers to keep track of the products they purchase, rate the effectiveness of that product, and then share those personal reviews with others. I'm here today at Marion Main Dispensary in Capitol Heights, Maryland, owned and operated by my homegirl, Hope Wiseman. Please download the Tetragram app today and take control of your personal journey with cannabis.
Where are you? We are out there looking for you, and we are determined to find you, and with the community's help, we will. Here's our feature for the week. 27-year-old Raja Mcqueen was last seen in her vehicle at a Cleveland, Ohio gas station in June of 2021. She was reportedly in the passenger seat of her 2018 silver Nissan Sentra. Raja is the mother of 2 sons. Raja Mcqueen is 5'7" tall, weighs about 135 pounds, has black or dark brown hair and brown eyes. Her car's license plate number is JGH3953. That is the license plate number for her silver Nissan Sentra. That plate again, JGH3953. Crime Stoppers is offering a $5,000 reward. Call Cleveland Police at 216-623-5418. That number again, 216-623-5418, if you have any information about Raja Mcqueen's disappearance. Where are you? Know that we are out there looking for you. We are working with the community, and with their help, we are going to find you. Oh, we're back with your International Report with Dr. Inyang Ebong Harstrup. As you know, she is taking the temperature of whatever is going on around the world and bringing it right to us and letting us know how it's relevant. Thank you so much for joining us, Edie.
Well, Carol, thank you for having me. As usual, it's wonderful to be here. And I thought I would take a step back. We're all consumed with Ukraine and what's happening with Ukraine, but I'm concerned about the African students that had to flee from Ukraine and what happened to them. Well, around 16,000 African students who were living in the Ukraine are now scrambling for another place to continue their studies. They had a traumatic exit with the racism that they faced, and many hundreds were on repatriation flights home. But there are many, for the hundreds that left, there are thousands that stayed, and they're in Europe, and what's happening to them? Well, universities across the world have extended a hand, but what's interesting about this is that you will find some universities, for example, there's one in Estonia, Tallinna University, and they said they would take students, but they're taking Ukrainian students. So they're taking them without the usual checks and balances. But for foreign students or African students, they have to go through the regular procedure. So you can see the double standard there. Meanwhile, their governments are trying very hard to make deals with other countries. Hungary has said that they will take some students, and they will take around 2,000. They've received, 2,000 applications, but they will take some. Ghana has got the university in Grenada to take some of its medical students, about 200. And I believe that Poland also said that they would take some of the students. So the governments are trying, but what does this really tell us? It tells us that in Africa, we have to step up with what we do with our universities, because, for example, of the global list of universities that are ranking universities, there are 1,500, only 60 are from Africa. And it was very interesting that the former vice chancellor of the University of Cape Town has said that we really need to use this as an opportunity to see how we strengthen our tertiary level institutions so that our students can stay on the continent. In fact, a lot of the students that have returned are looking to stay on the continent and to study in Africa. It all depends where they were in their studies, because obviously some don't want to step back. But for those that have not gone very far, it's a welcome opportunity to stay in Africa.
It's so interesting, and I hope you'll keep us updated on where these students end up. And we are bringing the Ukrainians here, 100,000, to the United States. We want to make sure that they understand this is a multicultural, diverse society, and it has to be respected as such. I'm Carol Angela Davis. This is Dr. Inyang Ebon Harsha. Thank you so much for joining us, Innie. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Carol. See you next week.
Thank you. Carol Davis and Lionel the Builder sat back at you with our crypto convos. We talk about crypto every week and just try to let you know what's going on. Lionel joins us as he always does. Thank you, Lionel. And I hope you're here to talk about it is bloody out there.
Yes, it is. And thank you for having me again. And I've been getting calls all day about how red the market is. So I wanted to point something out to you guys. I wanted to bring up the charts here because as you can see, this is the 7-day. Yes, it is red, but and this is not financial advice, but I don't want people to make the mistake of selling right now because historically, we always return back to all-time highs. So a lot of people have been buying around here. This is only the 7-day. Let's look at the monthly. Okay, here's the monthly. So a lot of people, obviously, if you see the monthly, we're in the red, but I say we need to zoom out and we need to look. Let's look at Bitcoin from all time. Okay, a lot of people have came in around here, but then we end up going down. Or we could even look at the yearly. Okay, because what I'm saying though is that we need to think long term, because as you can see, it's going up over time within the ups and downs. So a lot of people sell at the wrong point. That's why you have to take your emotions out of your investing. You cannot be emotional. And that's the hardest, trickiest thing about it, because we have to flip our mindset to where when we're in the red, we need to be thinking about what we're going to do as we return back to the new all-time high. Because Bitcoin, we have still not hit mass adoption yet. We have still not hit retail investment. You cannot buy groceries and gas easily with Bitcoin yet. And when that happens, they're saying, the sky's the limit to what Bitcoin is. So all of this stuff that's happening in between is just the motion of the ocean. And the best thing that we can do is just wait for long term and try to take our emotions out of it. And times like now, where we're feeling so scared, we're feeling like this is unstable, we should be excited because we're imagining in our heads the next one of these peaks for us to take profit or for us to just continue to hold the long-term investment. But what you definitely do not want to be doing is you do not want to be selling.
Thank you so much, Lionel. That's why he's here to tell you to have a look at this Bitcoin, because it is no joke. I'm Carol Angela Davis. Thank you, Lionel. We'll see you next week. Stay with us. We're back at you, folks. We're closing out the show with Dr. Kay Davis. You know her because she's the person who's helping you to live a longer life, and we hope you are paying attention. Welcome, Dr. Kay.
Hi, welcome, and thanks for having me. Today, I wanted to talk about just getting your summer body together and bodybuilding. And a lot of people, when they're at the gym, they're going to take protein drinks, protein supplements, vegan protein supplements, and on and on and on. But I want to stress to you that the plant-based protein, so in other words, when you're eating a salad or you're eating healthy and you say things like, I need some protein, and you are offered a meat-based protein, people, no. A meat-based protein, first of all, you don't need that much protein. Second of all, your body does not make the enzyme that is really required to digest meat. So the human being does not make the enzyme urokinase that you need to digest the meat proteins. So things like kidney stones, kidney failure, all these things result from this eating of a lot of high protein meat. So how do you get your protein when you're trying to muscle build? Plant-based proteins. And not only that, but plant-based proteins have something that meat-based protein does not. And that is they have fiber, which is definitely needed by our intestines. So when you're bodybuilding, the meat, the seeds, the nuts, certain vegetables, they all contain plant-based proteins. Stay away from the meat-based proteins. You will gain muscle mass. You will get enough protein. You'll get more than enough protein, and you will be able to bodybuild in the most healthy way. And that's my message for the week. Thanks for having me.
Dr. Kay, can I ask one quick question?
Yes.
Like if I was going to go and grab a meat-based protein, like what's an example of that?
Well, like for example, you get
Protein?
a salad and they say, what's your protein? And you say chicken, or you get, something, you're adding protein. Most likely it's a chicken because they're still trying to, this is a healthy meat. But anytime you grab something that is meat, you're grab eggs, perfect example. I need eggs because I need protein. You don't. You do not need that protein. The protein that you need comes from a plant-based source, and it also contains fiber.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kay. That's why she's here, people. 30 years in counting. All that experience, we bring it right to you. I'm Carol Angela Davis. This is Ask Dr. Kay. Thank you, Dr. Kay.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And from all of us here at Impact News, we wish you a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week with more timely news that you don't get anywhere else. Very important health information to make sure that our community has longevity. And of course, your international report, your crypto convos, your missing, your slay word, etc. Stay with us. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Dr. Kay.
Thank you.